everyone, and welcome to our Dominion screening. My name is Jennifer. I'm founder of Vegan Action Wales and organizer of Anonymous for the Voiceless. I would like to say a few words before we start, and the reason why we're here. Humans on a daily basis abandon animals to their will to gain something in return. The impact of humans' actions are at the expense of others. Humans are dominating living beings using force and power. They act in favor of the interests of our species against members of other species. This is called speciesism, and unfortunately this mindset is deeply established in our society. Humans don't recognize animals as individuals capable of feelings and emotions. They consider them food, commodities, clothing, accessories, something to use for transport and entertainment. Dominion documentary released in 2018 explores all the way I mentioned animals used and abused by humans. Using drones and cameras as never seen before, the powerful movie questioned the morality of our dominion on animal kingdom. Entirely filmed in Australia, Dominion exposes the standard practices of the animals use industry. What you will see is legal. What you will see is standard global practice in small and large scale. What you will see is happening now and needs to stop.
Hello everybody, my name is Aaron. Firstly, I'd like to thank you all for coming. This can be a very intense watch. There's some of the most violent, brutal behaviors that you will witness tonight. So yeah, it's tough to watch, but it's important to sit through it because when we watch these things, when we understand the reality of what exactly the animals are going through because of humanity, we are empowered with the knowledge to do something about it. We're fired up with the motivation to speak up, to get loud and take to the streets and to end this disgusting atrocity that's a stain on our civilization. So yeah, thank you all for coming. I hope you don't tear up too much. If you do, I'll be here for a hug. Amira?
Hi everyone. This is a really momentous evening. We have been planning this since November, and I used to be a vegetarian for 10 years. My name is Dr. Amira Brett. I'm a GP. I'm a vegan GP proudly now. And I've been a vegan just over 7 months now. And it's been the best decision of my life. I advocate a veganistic lifestyle because of its amazing health benefits and as well as its incredible environmental impact, because the world as we know it is going through a state of irreversible damage in the next 10 to 11 years unless we change our ways. I've got to know the vegan rights activist movement in Swansea and South Wales since I learned more and more about what was happening to the animals, and I was in a deep state of shock. I genuinely believed that animals were looked after. You know, I really bought the free-range stickers, I really bought the grass-fed stories, the happy eggs. It's all a lie. I researched it myself. And I cried for 2 solid days. I was so heartbroken and shocked. And the fact that I felt I was lied to, I was complicit in the abuse that was perpetrated against so many animals every day, and how we are being lied to around the world. Once I became awakened, I really wanted to wake people up, and I wanted them to realize that the system is wrong, the system is sick, the system wants to keep you sick, because they're actually in the business of making people sick from the medical, pharmaceutical side of things. And actually our food is our medicine, and if we heal the world and we treat all our fellow beings with love and compassion, we will progress so much more. I think humanity will evolve to a level we've never seen before. So thank you so much for coming. It shows great courage, great compassion, and I think this is going to be a global awakening spiritual experience for everybody. Thank you so much for being part of the evening tonight. take one and just put it in your, the back of your car. You could be doing just activism, advocating people to open their mind and educate themselves about the reality of what happens to these animals. Again, thank you so much for being here. It's been a very special evening, and I am really grateful to all of you. Thank you so much.
I echo what Narrated just said there. Thank you for persevering through that. That was one of the toughest watches of my life, for sure. Behind that feelings, like you worry. These documentaries can be really hard for us to witness, but it's so important that we do, because the way that any individual can lessen their impact on the environment, it's the most effective, impactful way that we can become more ecological. So with that in mind, as well as the fact that animals are suffering to such a brutal degree, we all have a moral responsibility with the knowledge that we now have to spread this information, to make other people aware, no matter how uncomfortable we might feel sometimes, because we are going against the grain of society, because most people aren't vegan, and most people do shut off to it. And they don't want to listen to what we have to say because it makes them feel uncomfortable. But it's a time we have to question our priorities here. What is more important, the animals suffering, or other people being uncomfortable because they've been called out for causing animals to suffer?
And no matter how uncomfortable or awkward or embarrassing, whatever the negative or horrible emotion you might feel, because human in general, we don't want to stick out from the crowd. We all want to be part of the same thing, the same system. And when somebody seems to be like different or a vegan or standing for animal rights, you can be ostracized, you can feel like stigmatized or feel embarrassed or ashamed. But remember, no matter what negative emotion or fear or shyness or whatever it is psychologically that you might be perceiving as a negative, from standing up and speaking for those voiceless animals, the innocent victims, who are a lot of the time are mere children in their own chronological ages, when they're being bred and tortured and abused the way they are, completely unnecessarily. Whatever we're feeling is nowhere near what they are going through.
It's made in the UK.
There is-
Actually made in the UK.
There is a film called Land of Hope and Glory, which all footage from UK films. I did believe that VAW have a film coming out, don't they? Yeah, they've done a lot.
Quite a few. They've done Hogwood Farm.
Yeah.
VAW.co.uk. VAW is the biggest vegan charity organization in the UK and Europe. And they have done their own investigation with dairy. They've had one with Dairy Scary and Hogwood Farm, the pig one, where it was the biggest pig producer. They've been hassling Tesco and lots of supermarkets to stop buying from Hogwood because of the appalling and horrendous conditions these pigs were found in. Very much like what we
about veganism for me was just an out choice. So I started joining Facebook groups, and I saw people talking about vegans. And my first documentary was Earthlings, which is the previous documentary before Dominion was released. I watched it all through in one go, and then I watched on YouTube Gary Yuyovsky, The Best Speech You Will Ever Hear. And if you haven't, I really suggest you listen to that. You can share on Facebook, which is very, very powerful. It speaks the truth. It's very harsh, but it tells the truth. So I always call myself an animal lover, and I realized I wasn't, because I was eating animals. I used to buy pets as well, so I didn't know anything about puppy farms. No. So that triggered me to go vegan. But after a few years, I realized that I wasn't doing enough. Yeah, I wasn't participating actively in this industry, but I wasn't helping animals in other ways. But I decided to do some activism. And activism has different forms. It's not only street activism. It's not going to a vigil or wear a mask and show footage. You can do activism anytime. You can, as Amira said, you can put the stickers on your car. You can do leafleting. You can do street choking. You don't need to talk to anyone. You can leave a peaceful message. And we did it the night before the air show. And we had many people stopping, and we had lots of conversation as well with people. You can wear clothing, so you send a straight message without talking to anybody. There are really lots of ways to do activism.
You don't necessarily think that the calf is taken away. You just think, oh well, the calf has some milk, and then we have a little bit as well, and it's making it anyway. So why don't we just use it? But you don't actually realise what's happening, and that we're just completely killing babies just to take it away from them. So I started realising this about 3 years ago. So I've been vegetarian for 12 years, but I've been vegan for the last 3. So I noticed videos on Instagram of things that were in that video of calves being taken away and watching the mothers chase after them, and I found that really upsetting. So that's when I decided to go vegan. I also made my dogs go vegan then, and they are perfectly healthy because of it. Yeah. And I don't know tell people my dogs are vegan until they question me about it, because they always go, oh, they look like really healthy dogs, they're big and strong. I've got 2 big huskies. People think, oh, they go, how do you feed them meat then? I go, I don't. So people think that they can't survive, but they can. I started doing activism about around about the same time I went vegan. I've never looked back, to be honest. It was a really good way of actually feeling like you're achieving something. If you spend your life sort of telling people that you're vegan and getting mocked and laughed at, when you actually do activism, you actually sort of get a good feeling out of it. You feel like you've made a difference when day to day maybe you struggle a lot with it. So if anybody does want to go vegan and does want to join our group, it's a really good way of actually sort of feeling fulfilled when you spend a lot of your life just feeling like it's surrounded by murderers. So
Okay, so there's this analogy of the low-hanging fruit. So imagine every person in the society has a piece of fruit on a tree, and you have a choice of trying to reach for the hard to reach fruit, or taking the ones from the lower to the ground that are easier to pick. So into a human context, this means don't waste your time on people who are so stubborn and set about their ways that they get angry, they can't have a logical conversation, they can't be reasonable, because inevitably you're going to get frustrated with that and you're going to feel like you're not making much success. But if you move on from these often pointless conversations and talk to people who are interested and want to listen and learn and understand, who respond to your questions honestly, even if it does make them sound like a hypocrite. Talk to the right people who want to listen.
I think it hit me more than what it would. But after watching that now, it's not really question, but so sharing.
We all have compassion, and what you were saying before about the anger, and that we are, that the fact is, the truth is, we are angry and we are rightly angry, but don't let the anger consume you. Don't let the red kind of volcanic energy consume you, and that's how you exude your energy, that's how you speak. You need to give veganism a really good example of how to be. And for people, whenever they've had an interaction with somebody who's a vegan, for them to leave that interaction or that conversation thinking, that person was nice, they listened. We had an interesting conversation. But there are people who are not ready to hear it because you are confronting them. It's almost like a drug addict or an alcoholic. You're confronting them to ditch a habit or ditch something or confront a behavior. Sometimes it's very generational, or it is to do with their family business, and it's very, very difficult for them. And if they're not ready, they're not ready. But people who are ready, or inquisitive, who are coming to discuss it, or who have a genuine interest in finding out, even if they're coming from the opposite perspective, but they genuinely want to debate and find out, they're worth, spending time on. But basically, don't get into your horns tangled with someone, because there are people who have ulterior motives that do not want this industry obviously to finish. They want to continue to exploit animals and
What I
enjoy
want to
that.
say is like I'm not a hungry person as such,
No.
but at work today that was very strange. I
Yeah.
spoke to the guy who does the IT,
Yeah,
and he found out that I was vegan. I said, "Oh, I never thought you would be vegan."
yeah,
They're, because when someone is vegan, you know they're vegan.
yeah, yeah.
Underwhelming more showings of this film or other films? I'm only asking because I'm around a lot, I'm surrounded by my family who are struggling with, I'm struggling trying to get my point across without coming across too passionate, like I'm being forceful. So would you recommend people who are totally not vegan, have never been, not even vegetarian, would you recommend sitting them in front of this film, kind of hitting them cold turkey really, so that
I think sometimes it's good to do it in sort of a neutral territory, because if it's coming from you, a lot of the time they'll have like some sort of emotional investment in you, and maybe they'll get frustrated, or even sometimes if I'm speaking to my family, you almost feel like there's a bit less respect because they think that you're younger than them, and then I'm your parent, I know better than you, so it's quite hard to actually get your point across. But when you bring them to sort of a neutral territory and there's new faces and different people around, they just have to like look at the issue on its own. They can't blame it on the person in front of them. They just have to accept what's going on in front of them. We did a screening in a different group about a year and a half ago of Dominion in the Grand, and I brought my mum to that. And since then, she hasn't gone fully vegan, but she's definitely trying to go vegetarian. And it took me a long time to get her to do anything when it was just me. But as soon as I put her in a room full of strangers in front of that screen and she couldn't get away, it started to click in her head. I think it was just in the same way we're doing activism, we have people holding footage, and then you wear a mask so that the person looking at the footage on the screen can't associate with the person in front of them. They have to look at the footage. It's the same sort of thing. So I think if we can try and do more events like this and have people bring their family members, it might actually be a better way.
Like Land of Hope and Glory.
Yeah, very impactful.
Yeah, but seeing it in a film, there's so much information. It's more than I can physically get out
Very
without
factual,
trying
yeah.
at somebody. Do you know what I mean?
No,
So
yeah, it's really good.
if you were doing this again, I think you'd probably try and bring some people I want to see it.
Yeah, we can definitely try and arrange more events like that. Yeah.
Definitely.
So when I went vegan, I felt like I'd learned this very powerful message that I wanted to share with everybody, and I started with my flatmates. They didn't like it. They didn't want to listen to anything, which is as to be expected, really. My advocacy style was not effective initially. I didn't know how to get my message across when it had such a heavy weight. I would put a movie like this on, Land of Hope and Glory, in the kitchen, in the shared space, just to try and force them to be exposed to it and realize what they're complicit in. But I realized that doesn't work. You can't make someone listen to a message that they're not ready to receive. So if you want to feel like you're really influencing people, let them come to you. Because if they come to you, they are obviously interested. But if you're going up to people in your life, you work with, your friends, your family, and you're bringing up these issues that can be quite harrowing when people understand the weight of it. Oftentimes people shut out, I found, and it can be very good to slow down and just to trust that you'll get through to them eventually. So what I've been doing recently, whenever I meet new people that aren't vegan, I don't tell them initially, I just just do my thing, and over time they'll pick up on things that I'm doing differently to them. They'll realize that I'm having tofu instead of chicken flesh, or that I'm drinking soy milk instead of dairy, and they'll ask, why are you drinking that? And I'll tell them about the dairy industry, and I'll say, do you want to see what happens? Instead of forcing it, I ask them if they'd like to know. And after doing this for a while, I realized that that's a much more effective way to get the message across. I've had a couple of flatmates who, after living with me for a couple of months, have said to other people that just me being in the flat, me being around, they feel guilty for cooking animal products. And they know that I'm not forceful in any way. I don't shove broccoli down their throat or anything. but they have this discomfort, this unsettlement within them that arises because I'm reminding them that they're complicit in horrible acts just by existing. So my message would be to be a great, happy, joyful person. Keep your mental health in order. Just be the example, and people will realize that you're doing something right, and they'll start copying you.
People don't want to be told you're eating a dead animal. If you associate killing an animal with something people eat on their dinner plate, they're going to shut down. So maybe if you talk about cosmetics and how animals are tested on for certain cosmetics.
Yeah, there's different ways, yeah, you can go into it, yeah. Some people are really moved by the planet and what's happening right now with the environment. Climate change is very, very big and it's powerful, and when they have children and the grandchildren, say your kids and grandkids might not have this world as we know it now, that makes them really motivated to say how can we make it better. You can put anonymous for the voiceless Swansea, anonymous for the voiceless Cardiff, Newport, whatever. Just when you will find the different groups, join the groups. It's really, really fun. We do the activism part of it, which is for 3 or 4 hours, and then we have a social. We all sit together and chat and drink and socialize, and it's quite nice. And I think you'll really, really enjoy it. So I will look forward to seeing you all, hopefully joining our camp and helping the animals speak for the voiceless. Thank you so much. Please come and feel free to pick any leaflets you like or any car bumper stickers as well. All right?
I don't know if you noticed the posters. We are doing the charity night. There's a quiz and curry night in Canteen 18 Swansea, the 1st of February. Probably you heard the story about the 53 pigs. They were rescued by beneath the Wood Sanctuary. Last year in January we found out that the Pembrokeshire farm called Bramble Farm, it was the worst case in Wales about animal abuse and neglect. They were doing illegally smoke, and the pigs were left to eat diseased sheep. So the SPCA rescued all the animals. They had horses, donkeys and dogs, and these 53 pigs were, because they were infected, they were due to be killed. So we initiated a petition with 11,000 signatures. We protested down in Pembroke Council. We went to the first meeting with all the local authorities, and we found beneath the woods sanctuary that offered a place for these pigs. So they had a legal battle, and finally all the pigs are at the sanctuary now. So they need loads of help because they were left in quarantine, and they were left female and male. They had loads of fun, and they bred, and there are about 100 pigs now. So they're really, really struggling. We went there the 28th of December. I met those pigs, and they're really, really lovely. But obviously, it's few people that are caring for 100 pigs. So they need the shelters, they need a tractor, they need also volunteers. If you want to spend a day, a week, you contact them on Facebook. Sasha is really helpful. She can offer you a bed.
What's the name?
Beneath the wood. Yeah. But if you go on Vegan Action Waves, we share a lot because we it's part of our, part of our campaign. Yeah.
One more note, at the start of June this year, you can expect the official Swansea Animal Rights March. It'll be the second one. We had our first one last year with great turnout. We're hoping for a bigger turnout this year so we can make some more noise for the animals.
Definitely.
So keep that in your diaries. One of the first weekends at the start of June.